It was a quiet night in Queens, New York, on March 13, 1964, when 28-year-old Kitty Genovese was walking home from her job as a bar manager. She parked her car near her apartment building in the Kew Gardens neighborhood around 3 a.m., unaware that someone was following her. As Kitty walked toward her door, a man suddenly emerged from the shadows and attacked her, stabbing her repeatedly. She screamed out in pain, pleading for help. "Oh my God, he stabbed me! Please help me!" Her cries echoed through the neighborhood, but no one came to her aid. The attacker, later identified as Winston Moseley, was startled by the noise and fled, leaving Kitty wounded but alive. For a brief moment, it seemed she might have a chance to survive, but despite her calls for help, no one came down to assist her. Some residents later reported hearing her screams, but most assumed it was just a domestic dispute or someone else would call the police. Kitty managed to stagger toward her building trying to reach safety, but she was too injured to make it far. 10 minutes later, Moseley returned. Finding Kitty collapsed in a stairwell at the back of her apartment building, he attacked her again, this time fatally. For nearly half an hour, Kitty endured the brutal assault, all within earshot of her neighbors. When the attack finally ended, Moseley fled and Kitty was left alone, succumbing to her injuries. It wasn't until 3:50 a.m., nearly 30 minutes after the first attack, that a neighbor finally called the police. By the time authorities arrived, Kitty was dead. The crime itself was horrifying, but what shocked the nation even more was the apparent indifference of the people who had heard her cries. Initial reports claimed that 38 witnesses saw or heard parts of the attack, but did nothing to intervene or even call for help. The murder of Kitty Genovese became infamous, sparking national outrage and leading to the term bystander effect, a phenomenon where individuals are less likely to help a victim when others are present, believing someone else will step in. Though later investigations showed that some details were exaggerated, the story left a lasting impact on public consciousness and led to major changes in emergency response practices. It highlighted the need for individuals to take action when witnessing a crime and for society to foster a sense of responsibility toward one another. Kitty Genovese's tragic death changed the way people think about helping others, and ultimately led to the creation of the 911 emergency call system, enabling faster responses and encouraging witnesses to take immediate action. Her story remains a haunting reminder of the dangers of apathy and the importance of stepping forward when someone is in need.